Whoops. Hey folks, Elaine Marolakos Edelson here with AstrologyMojo. Want to help you get your mojo back. And yes, I took this picture. This is around the block from me. I live in heaven. Sometimes we breathe and we forget because we're so focused on the thing that isn't working that we forget what's around us. Well, I went searching for another photo today thinking, okay, I had the weirdest morning, but that's okay because I reset. And I thought, all right, I'm going to get out of my head because, you know, when you're thinking, I've talked about this before, when you're thinking, all you do is create tiny little focused particles of things that aren't part of the bigger picture, not part of the bigger wave. So I had to go find my wave this morning. And there it is right there. Ta-da, Sedona. Okay. So if you're new to me, I'm going to be talking about Mercury in retrograde and how it affects the elements, fire, earth, air, water. But bigger than that, just a reminder that the planets don't do anything to you. No, we live in a cooperation with the cosmos so that when the planets make a move, you feel it. When you make a move, it's reflected by way of aspects and angles in a chart. And it's like looking at a lab report. Okay, because you have low vitamin D or whatever, or too much estrogen, whatever. It's not because the paper did it or the phlebotomist did it. It's not random. It's your choices. And so astrology only shows us our choices. And that is 5D astrology. That is what I practice as a modern mystic and a clairvoyant. This is the new way of seeing things. You are not beholden to a planet's whims. Okay. So now let's talk about Mercury in retrograde. And I've talked about it before on previous shows. Go take a listen on YouTube, Facebook, wherever I'm streaming to. Please come by, say hello. Hey, Lorraine is here. So what happens in a Mercury in retrograde? Because very quickly, because of our perspective of Earth looking up and the way the planets rotate on the ecliptic around the sun, it's an oval, not a circle. So we are at different stages on our orbit. So when we get closer or further away, it looks like other planets are going backwards and we're going forwards. That's like the mini version of what it is. Okay. So now let's talk. And I made my notes. Hang on. I got them here. Let's talk about, and I'm going to show you the chart. So it's not, Mercury's not doing anything to you, but we fall into the collective of feeling everything. We feel everything. You're a sentient human being merging biology with divinity. So you feel everything. New setup on my desk. I'm still getting used to it while I record. Okay. And now my mouse. Ta-da. There we go. What it looks like. Hey, Riccara, you made it. Okay. So this is September 9th when Mercury goes retrograde. And today's the 8th if you're watching this in a replay. The basic information will apply. Stay tuned. Mercury is retrograde from September 9th to October 2nd. Now, during its motion through the constellations, it begins in Libra and then ends up in Virgo. So when I talk about the fire signs, I might add on other things. Sorry, wrong way. That are going on in the chart. So I just want you to keep an open mind. Remember, the planet's not doing it to you, that you are creating your reality. And if you don't like what you see, then you have to grab hold of yourself. And with so many retrograde planets, let's just take a look. We've got Jupiter's retrograde, Neptune is retrograde, Saturn is retrograde, Pluto is retrograde. Now, tomorrow, the 9th, Mercury is retrograde. So with so many planets in retrograde motion, from our perspective of Earth, what we're looking at is going within and assessing our behavior, our choices, everything that's going on in the world is, it's like a billion television shows, which, just change the channel. Oh, look, there's war. Is that what you're resonating toward? Then that's what you're going to watch. Does that make you happy? If it doesn't, but it can be an addictive feeling. So you're going to notice any addictions, Neptune retrograde. You're going to notice where you put your momentum. And a lot of times that deals with Mars, but also representational of your momentum. But Uranus is that rebellious, wanting freedom. Where do you feel stuck? Where do you feel like you're not going to get ahead in business, with a relationship, with money, with your health, with a project, right? So everybody's going to be different, of course. When Saturn is retrograde, we're looking at I need a different system, a system that works for my growth. So we just dug up our backyard because our water system wasn't working. So we had to get that fixed. New pipes, etc. What they found in the pipes was like, oh, because we're on an aerobic system. It doesn't go straight into the drain to the sewer. Small towns. So that got fixed, Let's check that box. So you want to look at all the stuff that you're undergoing in your life right now. Hey, Justin. And look at what you can do to make your life more truthful and intentional. What? Curly and wee bit whirly. That's funny. You're so funny. Mercury in retrograde, full moon and birthday all on the same day. Well, I was going to get to that. Okay. Because now we're also having a full moon in Pisces. Who's wired? Who's wide awake? Who can't sleep? So I'm just going to be talking about the Mercury in retrograde for the elements. That is the fire signs, the earth signs, the air signs, and the water signs. So here we go. Okay, let's start with Aries. And Aries, where Mercury retrograde is going to take place is in your, now this can be for your sun, your rising, or your moon sign. So it can apply in a lot of different ways. So Aries, it's going to take place in the 7th and 6th houses. And that is relationships and work. So if you've got clients, if you're working on getting a project done, this is the time between September 9th through October 2nd, add 10 days, retrograde, pre and post phases. What you need to really look at is who are your partners? Are you going this alone, Aries, or sun, rising, or moon? Are you looking at how to expand? Jupiter is also in Aries right now. So if you could be in a perfect world, this is for every sign. If you could be in a perfect world, but especially Aries, sun, rising, and moon, who do you want to partner with? How do you want the outcome to be? Because this also relates to your health. So if you're working with a medical professional, if you're working with a team, you really need to be clear. Now, people will say, Mercury in retrograde, how do you get clear in a Mercury in retrograde? Oh, you go within. You get quiet. You meditate every day. That's for every sign. Because the answers don't come from the outside world. Okay? The answers come from you. Everything you're thinking is what you're about to create. So keep that in mind, Aries. 7th and 6th houses, partnerships, and work, how it relates to your health. So Leo, another fire sign. We're looking at the 3rd and the 2nd house. Now, in astrology, the 3rd house is all about communication. I say communication. People say, oh, talk. And I say, no. Perception, thinking, beliefs, and how it applies to your income. How it applies to how you make your money, why you make your money that way, or what do you need to do next about your money. And if you start thinking, Leo, sun, rising, and moon, that you are worth it, then you are. Then you just have to take the steps a little at a time. Now, in every retrograde, there's always it means, it's Latin and it means to step back. So if you're stepping back into something you used to do, something you want to do, but you put it on the back burner, now it's going to come forward. As an example, I am a Leo moon. and I write historical fiction fantasy books. Well, the past week in the pre-shadow phase, I have been working on getting my books up to speed for publication. And that is new covers. The first book, Aries Fire, has been edited over 30% since 12 years ago. The second book is finally done. I'm getting the Boker numbers, which are the ISBN numbers you see at the back of the book. Do I want to go digital? Am I going to print? So all these things are coming up for review. Now, and how it relates to my income. That's the Leo thing. So whatever you're doing, Leo, at this point in time, you want to be able to listen to what other people are saying who've been there, done that, but it's got to feel right. All right. Because the second house deals with your self-worth. If someone's telling you, yeah, it can't be done, but you're saying, no, but I feel like it can, then you will find a way and you will magnetize to you. Remember, law of attraction, there is no assertion. You can work at it, work at it, work at it, work at it, work at it. But if it's not coming back, you need to get still, get quiet, step back. Retrograde is Latin and it means to step back. Okay. And you'll get your answers. Okay. Sagittarius, next fire sign, sun, rising, and moon. We're looking at the 11th and 10th houses in astrology. And the 11th house is the groups and the people you associate with, also family. But they're the people you work with, the dreams that you have, and the 10th house is the career. So much like the work element for Aries and Leo, Sagittarius, we're looking at the kind of people you're collaborating with or associating with that help to redirect your career. Now, maybe you're retired. Maybe you're a stay-at-home mom. Maybe you're a stay-at-home dad. Maybe you're someone who, you're independently wealthy. You don't need to work. So what is this career thing about? It's about your life direction. It's about where you're headed and where you want to be going. So if you're looking at the people in your personal realm and arena who are saying things like, you've been talking about this for 20 years, just go do it. Maybe now's the time to think about how. And the how comes to you when you're focused on it. The universe sends you the how. Okay. So start thinking about Sag, sun, rising, and moon. If you want to create a future that leaves a legacy, because in the 10th house, the career could also deal with a masculine parent. Maybe dad went missing. Maybe you came from same-sex household and you're trying to determine, what is my masculinity now? How do I want to proceed in career? Am I the boss? Do I need an employee? Do I have employers? How do I want to negotiate the sense of community? Because sometimes if you're a really friendly person and you're a take charge person, Sag, sun, rising, and moon, and you have all these people around you, but you're the boss, then sometimes people lose that boundary. Or the opposite, maybe you're the employee and you're looking at your boss and you're thinking, I could do that better. So start thinking about not the judgment that goes with it, but how you can alter your thoughts, your vibration, and your group, the people you are surrounding yourself with. Who's your entourage? And that will help you to move to the next place. Now, earth signs, Taurus, sun, rising, and moon. We have the 6th house and the 5th house. The 6th house and the 5th house coming up for you. And if that means I need to, 6th house would be health and work, productivity. And the 5th house would be creativity. So if you are, let's just say, because this is a general look at things, Taurus, sun, rising, and moon, let's just say you're not taking care of yourself. You sit at the computer all day and you're working and your back hurts and you get up and you're like, oh, my productivity is going to go into the tanker because I can't, do what I'm supposed to do because I'm not taking care of my body. So it's going to be a really healthy combination of set a routine in the morning, drinking so much healthy water or nutrients or whatever you need, take a walk, do 20-minute workout, whatever it is, and then get into the creative mode. Now, if you're a mom or a dad of a small child, Taurus, sun, rising, or moon, or you're a grandparent who's taking care of kids, or you're a teacher, you really have to make sure that you are feeling healthy for the collective, right? For the kids. But sometimes the me time gets put on the back burner because you're like, oh, I got diapers to change. I got a class curriculum to write. I have a thing to do. And then you forget about you. So this retrograde is going to show you where you put yourself second and how it affects your health. But it's also going to show you what you really love to do that sparks you, helps you to feel creative. Do you want to feel creative, Taurus, sun, rising, and moon? Yeah, you do. You love growing things, cooking things, painting things, writing things. You love you can appreciate beauty in such a way that you can make it your own. And if that means, oh, let's say you're an artist and you want to start drawing botanicals, and create a series of cards or small pieces of art you want to sell. Well, then that goes back to the 6th house of marketing your stuff and the work that you're doing. But remember, your health comes first. 6th house represents health in astrology, but also work productivity. And 5th house is creativity, romance, children. So combining the two, like have fun, then go work, do some play, then do some research, take care of your body, then apply that to that energetic feeling to how you want to be in your work environment. Okay, Virgo, 1st and 2nd houses is what we're looking at during this retrograde. Whether you're a Virgo sun, rising, or moon, we are looking at not just the Mercury in retrograde, but you also have Venus. Venus is there. And Venus in Virgo represents the magnetic calling card. So Venus represents finances and beauty and art, the earth, anything that's grounding for you with a sense of pleasure, cooking with herbs, making a garden, whatever, painting, style, changing your physical style to represent more of who you are, Virgo, sun, rising, or moon. Or it may deal with understanding the feminine process. If you are someone who is transitioning from one gender to another, this might be a time of, okay, how do I want to be? With whom? How do I want to present myself? And it can also be, if you are in a healing place, the first house represents childhood wounds or your personality and me. It's like 1st house is me. Here I am with Venus and Virgo. And also 1st and 2nd houses. 2nd house again is worth and finances. So how do I want to make my money? Maybe I have to, because of some health or personality changes, I have to see how I can now proceed with my business. And that may be because of a health situation. It could be because you're of age where you're thinking, I want to get into a different industry. And in order to do that, I have to look the part. Or I want to be, when Virgo decides to do something, the research is very paramount to the success, to the outcome. So it's, I think I am this. Then you attract, and this is for anyone, right? Whatever you think you are, you're going to attract to you. And if you start to attract people with negative information, then that represents the part of you that doesn't think this thing can happen. Okay, Virgo, sun, rising, and moon, your potential is endless, as is everyone else's. But right now, with Venus as your calling card, it's your like magnetic attractor. Get very specific about the thing you would like to accomplish, heal, move into, become part of, so that you flourish. Virgo, sun, rising, and moon. I hope this is helping. Okay. Let me know, folks, if this is speaking to you. And remember to share, like, subscribe. I do not do personal predictions for people. So this is what I'm offering today. Come back next week and I will be talking. Oh, actually, no, I have to take Dean to the airport. But the following week, on the 22nd, I will be talking more about how you can manifest your own reality without so much struggle. And it starts with mindset. There's a hint. Okay. So, talking about mindset, let's move into the air signs. Gemini, the places for these Mercury and retrograde tendencies are going to be fifth house and fourth house. And you also have Mars in Gemini, and Mars represents forward momentum. And forward momentum can be the action that you take to get something done, but it can also be in Gemini, it can be how you think about the action and how to create the bridge to go from here to there without having to do so much. That's the mind blower. And in the fifth and fourth houses, the Mercury in retrograde is looking at how are you with romance these days, Gemini, sun, rising, and moon. Are you on the same plane as your partner? If you don't have someone in your life, what is the reason for that? And maybe you're thinking, been there, done that. I don't do relationships well, or there's just no one I want to attract right now. I'm busy working on something else, because the fourth house is all about your inner self-worth as it relates to the feminine parent. So if you have been through, it's home, it's family. Fourth house is home and family. And the fifth house is family, children, and creativity and romance. So when we put the two together, Gemini, sun, rising, and moon, if you are ready to become the next version of yourself and cut the ties to the mother energy, and I'm not saying mom was good, bad, or indifferent, or absent or present. I'm just saying that if you could be more present with following things that you were taught that no longer apply to you, Gemini, sun, rising, and moon, are you going in that same direction as your mother or the feminine parent? It could be a father, it could be a grandparent. So Gemini, I would say, with Mars in Gemini and the fourth and fifth houses during this retrograde, what makes you happy? What makes you feel creative? What makes you feel at home in your own skin? These are the things and the places you want to go, because your ultimate identity is tied into who you are at home right now during this retrograde. So if you're someone who is the one who's always in charge, then you might want to stand back and say, have I alienated my family? Or if you're the one who's always worried about something, again, stand back, retrograde, standing back. Can there be a different mindset? Can you proceed forward with a different mindset, Gemini, sun, rising, and moon? Does that make sense? Okay, Justin, please stop asking me to predict, because I am talking about the elements here, and I would appreciate that if you listen for your sun, rising, and moon. Okay, Libra, the first and the 12th houses plus Mercury retrograde in your sign through the 23rd of September. What the thing is that you're most aware of right now is being you. And if you don't like who you are, it's time to change your thoughts, because your thoughts are going to create and couple with emotions. And then that combination is going to be the thing that says to you, wait a minute, what just happened in my world? And maybe it's something positive. It's like they just gave me all this accolade, applause, a raise, promotion. Someone proposed to me, and I don't think I want that. Or I did it. Now I feel like I have to work harder to show them that, okay, that it's justified. You exist, therefore you are perfect. There it is. Start with that. And the rest of it, Libra, is if you vacillate on how to be, because first house is about your personality and your independence. Because you're a cardinal energy, Libra, sun, rising, moon, sometimes you're doing your thing. You're like, yeah, I love this. I love this. And then suddenly you look over there and you're like, well, what are they doing? How come they did that? Um, okay, maybe I should be doing that. Okay, if you want to be doing something else and you stop doing what you've already set into motion, make sure that the direction creates that complement. Like if let's say I'm an artist and I paint one style, and then the person who gets featured in the other gallery has a completely different style, and you start to doubt yourself, like maybe I should paint like them because they're getting the attention. It has nothing to do with anyone else. First house is all about you, and the 12th house is all about your psyche. So Libra, sun, rising, and moon, this is a good time to do some introspection, some, I don't want to say too much counseling, because the more you talk about the same issue, you create the vibration that creates more of the same issue. Did you hear that, everyone? The more you talk about the same issue, it creates the vibration that brings to you the same issue. So if you want to get out of the box that you have created for yourself, Libra, sun, rising, and moon, if there is one that you feel stuck in, just say to yourself, this is what it is right now. I'm changing. This is what it is right now. I'm moving toward that. I'm moving toward that. That's what I'm moving toward. Because I am a sentient, celestial, eternal, transformative being. And right now, doing this, thinking this, feeling that doesn't feel right, then you know you're about to create the bridge to the next moment. I hope that makes sense. And the opposite of that, because you are a Libran, is that you have your revelation, you have your ahas, and whatever you think it is for that moment. Now, if you like the way it feels and you feel that it's productive and you want it to keep going, then that's your truth right now. That's okay. It doesn't have to align with anybody else but you. Aquarius, sun, rising, and moon. Okay, the 9th and the 8th houses are where we're going. It's what you do in the world that counts right now. And you might be rethinking a negotiation or a contract that you've had. Maybe you read something, or you're taking a class, or you're giving a class, and it's really affected you. And you're thinking, gosh, do I really believe that anymore? I don't know. I was taking this class because I was interested in the topic, and now it doesn't speak to me. And I don't get it. And how is that going to affect my inner relationship to the 8th house, which are the resources, sex, death, and taxes? Why those 3 topics in one house? Because that gets the most attention on earth. So who am I? Aquarius, sun, rising, and moon, when it comes to who I proclaim to be on social media, at work, in my marketing, whoever I say I am. When I travel to a different place and I suddenly realize, my mind opens up and I say, oh my gosh, they don't, maybe you come from a really cold climate and you go somewhere where there's a drought, and you visit some place that they have to work hard to have clean water. And you're thinking, oh my gosh, I come from piles of snow. We can make our own water. What's happening out here? And so your mind gets blown with new philosophies, new cultural experiences. And you could just be sitting in your chair and watching, the Lonely Planet or any David Attenborough image and go, I didn't know that existed. Look at those creatures. Look at how they behave. Look at the people. Look at where we live on this planet Earth. Suddenly, your mind expands and you have a spiritual experience during this retrograde. And your mind takes a minute to go to the right, then to go to the left, Aquarius, sun, rising, and moon. And you're saying, well, how does this affect my money? Because I need to make money and I don't like my job. Okay, so if you're looking at it from like the 10 feet off the earth ground, I want you to look up to the 30,000 feet plateau and say, I can fly, but how do I get there? Well, you get there by going inside, by altering the thought the moment that it starts to gain momentum that I'm not enough. It's not enough. There's never enough. Aquarius, sun, rising, and moon. This thing is happening. And so our kid yesterday, Aquarius rising sign, called and said, can I just rant for 1 second? I said, you can rant for 5 seconds. Go. And they're like, and I changed my day because this was supposed to happen at 6:30 and they never called and I wasn't feeling well and the blah, 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 blah. And I was like, I know, I'm so sorry. That stuff happens. Oh my gosh. Let's talk about something fun. So we did. I feel better, Mom. It's still crappy. I don't blame the people. It's just that, what a day. I go, I know, and I love you. Do you love you? Yes, I do, Mom. I was like, job done. Check that box. Okay, so Mercury in retrograde for Aquarius, sun, rising, and moon is be light. The reason why spirits can fly is because they take things lightly. All right, water signs. Let me just check in. Progress Libra rising. Hey, Rakar. Hey. Lanier is here as well. And I just want to point out that no matter what your sign, your rising sign, your moon sign, anything about your chart, you are powerful. In fact, where's my card I usually show to people? I guess I moved it, but you're awesome. All right. So if you're looking at the external world, before we get to water, if you're looking at the external world and saying, oh, look, that's what it is, you can't change it. What are you going to do? You're going to go inward and you're going to change your reality for you. That's the reason why you came here, not to swim like fish with the sheeple who are, going in one direction. You have to create your own reality. But for some people, that's a mind blower. Like, I didn't know I did. Well, look at your world. Everything in your world you made, whether you like it or not. But whether you like it or not, look at the power that you have to create something. So you might be living in, it's like, I remember living in a trailer. I do. Without heat, and I slept in my clothes on a borrowed mattress, and ants were climbing across my feet. I remember that. And I don't talk about that a lot because I don't, that's not me anymore. That is so not me. I don't relate to it anymore, but it is where I come from. I come from that place of there's never enough. And I think most people on earth come from that place of there's not enough because they have it. The rich people have it. The smarter people have it. The educated people have it. The ones that live in that city have it. Okay, let me just, here, before we move on. Okay, this is where I live. I used to live in a trailer. So how did I get from there to here? Incrementally over time, by believing in something greater than me, by telling myself that if I am an extension of the light, I carry every color in that rainbow. I can make a palette. I can paint a picture of what I want my world to look like. And then if I get tired, I take care of my body. If I'm hungry, I eat something nutritious. If I'm dehydrated, I have headaches, nosebleeds, my back hurts, whatever. I take care of my body. We are merging biology with divinity. When we bring the two together, we can open up and see the possibilities. All right? Yes. Who's with me? Yes. Because I have heard people say, oh, easy for you. Easy for you. Look where you live. Look, it's like, yeah. You want to know where I come from? Ants. Trailer, no heat. Railroad apartment. Poverty consciousness. If you think you can't, you can't. I saw something on Instagram the other day of some kid, maybe, I don't know, 15, 16, 17. It was such a short thing. And I posted it on my Instagram stories. The song I'm Unstoppable, right? And there's this guy who made his own out of wood as sticks, tree limbs. He's barefoot and he's running and he's pole vaulting with a stick and he makes it over. Now he doesn't have $200 sneakers. He's not in a sports arena that costs, $500 a month to get there and work out and practice. He doesn't have like the gear. He has the will and the belief, and that's all you need. All right, water signs. Cancer. House 4 and house 3. Now, Cancer. Sun, rising, and moon. The 4th house is who you are growing up with your family, especially the feminine parent, and moving in a different direction, but also making a home for yourself, feeling at home. But house 3 is perception. It's communication. It's thinking, what do I really believe? How do I want to be? Because Scientifically speaking, and this is neuroscience, 95% of you is operating from an unconscious programming. That's just what it is, because it's what you learned as a child. It's what you witnessed as a child. It's what you were told as a child. It became the program in you, the computer. So now you're operating from that system. 5% is the conscious part that says, no, I don't think I want to do that. But it's not going to work. 95%. The 5%. Hey, look at what they're doing. That's so exciting for me. I want to give it a try. It doesn't work. Back to the 95%. So people will create something and then go backwards. Create something and then go backwards. Now, to become more and more apt and adept at being who you want to be with abundance and prosperity and whatever it is you want in your reality, I think it's important that you take this retrograde, especially Cancer, Sun, rising, and moon, and you think about who else had house 3. Leo had house 3. So Cancer and Leo, Sun, rising, and moon. That's your combo. That's even more relevant. That Cancer, you're creating your next moment, but is it going to be based on the 95% of the programming that didn't get your needs met? And it doesn't mean you were raised in a horrible, abusive situation. It just means that you came to this earth in this body and you were just pure conscious love. You were those rainbows behind me. But then you had to get grounded. No. I'm sorry. We have to go to bed now. Little children, they don't talk back. Oh, hug your uncle you've never met before, even though it scares the crap out of you. We are forced into situations that sometimes the pure consciousness is trying to, what is this place? Who are these people? And what do they want from me? And Cancer, you're going to need to isolate a little bit more once in a while in a home safe environment during this retrograde. Make your home living space that place of nurturing. And I love being here, because as you do that, then you'll love more being in your body. Your body is your first home on this earth. Your earth is the second home. And then the 4 walls that you live in is your other home. So Cancer, Sun, rising, and moon, the 3rd house with the retrogrades is showing you're more than you think you are. Literally more than you think you are. You are a feeling being. Sorry, I keep hitting this microphone. So as you move through your day, moment by moment, if you're overwhelmed, stop in the name of love before you break your own heart. Okay. Diana Ross just came to my mind. Okay, Scorpio, Sun, rising, and moon, 12th and 11th houses. Plus, we have the South Node in Scorpio, big time changes. And that represents, the South Node represents what you're moving away from. Been there, done that. Been there, done that. And it doesn't have to be a negative. It can be, I took a training course and I'm done. Or I'm done giving birth and I've raised my kids. Now they're out of the house. Now it's me time. Or I'm done with that type of thinking that surrounds those type of people that promote dissension or dissonance. Remember, folks, we are looking toward resonance, alignment, or dissonance, and you're separate from your rainbow source. So Scorpio, the 12th house is a psychological house. It is about the psyche. It is about you understanding the deep, dark dreams that you have had. Not evil. Dark just means not in the light. Okay? Does that make sense? Not in the light. So if you could, Scorpio, Sun, rising, and moon, reinvent yourself in a medium, whether it's art or writing or photography or speaking or rock climbing or building a fence, however you want to do it, what does that outside world represent now that you are letting go of the past of who you used to be? And some people, I've known a few Scorpio, Sun, rising, and moons who have just been through a whole lot of physical illness, and so they're letting go of the patterns that created that. And the patterns start in the mind. And that emotional sense of, oh, I can't think the same way. Oh yeah, I've got diabetes. My dad had it, my grandpa had it. It runs in the family. Okay, no, it doesn't. It doesn't. It runs in your programming, but it doesn't run in the family. It may look like that in the outside world, but ultimately you're the one making the decision to go in that same direction. Yep, Scorpio, sun, rising, and moon. This is a great time to get with a group because you're in 12th and 11th houses here. And who else has a 11th house? Sagittarius. Okay, so the 12th house, Libra. I'm sorry, Libra also has a 12th house. So it looks like Scorpio, Libra, and Sag, if that is your combination in astrology, or you have friends who are any of that combination, you might have a lot of simpatico, a lot of the similar stuff that's going on. So now would be a good time to shy away from people who only promote negative. And that means TV shows, movies, shying away from the people who are like, yeah, they're going to get you. I didn't vote for them because they're a bunch of wackos, or they're to the left, or they're to the right. Scorpio, now is the time to disassociate yourself from people from the past who no longer represent your future. Now, one of the easier ways for Scorpio to do that is to cut ties. They just are good at done, bye. But if you take the pattern with you to the future, you're really not done. So you want to ask yourself, Scorpio, sun, rising, and moon, with the 11th and 12th houses, is it possible for me to attract someone who is more in keeping with and more in line with who I am? I believe that that's true. That's where you start. If you don't believe that that's true, you're just going to go in the same circle. So believing that it's true brings to you a whole new set of experiences. Now, your higher inner being, this is for everyone, your higher inner being is the rainbow, knows what you want, knows how to bring it to you. You have to allow it. So let's say Scorpio, sun, rising, and moon, you're so done with that group of people or those kinds of friends who aren't friends anymore, really. They just resonated the same frequency as you, and you all talked the same and you felt the same. And so you had the same petitions politically, you had the same beliefs about health or beingness or whatever, but now you're growing and they're not. So as you let these people go, what happens is you're kind of in a new space. Then you put out a thought into the universe that says, my needs are met. My needs are met. My needs are met, even if I don't know how to meet them. And then you get a flyer in the mail. Rainbows in action. Higher self, higher inner being in action. You get a flyer in the mail and it's like, oh, come to this meditation workshop, or come to this new sound healing workshop, or there's a whole study on different types of finance, over at the Civic Center. And you're like, oh, that interests me. And then you go and you start talking to new people with higher minded interests. You say that's how it will work. You will be attracting to you who you are, but now you're kind of, in between. Where do I want to go? How do I want to be? Who do I want to do it with? And you're going to find, if you are meditating daily, for everyone, please meditate at least 3 minutes a day. Meditation isn't, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to experience flight and, astral project, and I'm going to do that another time. Right now, we're just going to get into being present. That's it. Just be present. And the past will go quickly and easily, painlessly. Pisces, sun, rising, and moon, we're looking at the 8th and the 7th houses, plus we have Neptune in Pisces, plus we have a full moon in Pisces. So this is a lot of emotion and a lot of dreaming and a lot of mysticism and a lot of negativity that needs to come to the surface. Again, very similar to the Scorpio talk, but who else has 8th house Aquarius and 7th house Aries? So during this retrograde and the Libra Virgo combination for you Pisces is knowing that the opposite is sometimes exactly the same. Just take that in, Pisces, because you're going to ruminate over words. it being a retrograde in not just Libra, but also in Virgo, your opposite sign and energy. So where Pisces might want to, peace, love, have a bottle of wine, to take with the Valium and dream big and paint a picture. And then they meet a Virgo who says something like, well, statistically, when I researched this is the faster way to get to where you want to go. But you're going with a guidance system that is like, whatever. So maybe you want to try this now. And here's a roadmap. And someone might just actually say that to you in the next 6 weeks. Maybe not. Here's a roadmap, but here's what I did and it worked for me. It's a more direct route to get to where you want to go. And with the 8th and 7th houses, 7th is partnership. So it will involve another person. Could be a spouse, a business partner, could be a high-end client. The 8th house is getting your needs met through finances, it's sex, death, money. It could be insurance. It could be you're making a payout to something and you've hired a client or a vendor. You've hired someone to help you do something, Pisces, sun, rising, and moon. And now you've initiated the payment. You've completed the payment. Make sure. Okay. Wait, let me finish my thought. So now you're looking at what's the next step in this partnership. Is this partnership dealing with my insurances for the future? What kind of insurance? My taxes, my tax status. Does it deal with a spouse? 8th house is also the spousal income. Does it deal with my higher inner being and the flow of abundance? So for those who have 8th house retrograde energy, that would be Pisces, Aquarius. Please pay close attention to your credit cards. Make sure your PIN numbers are, intact in a safe place. Make sure you've got information coming in. Like there's no, like the dog ate my homework. There's none of that. It's like, when did that bill come due? I didn't even see it. That happens. So just double check if you have online banking, Aquarius and Pisces, that you are on it. That's all. That's all I want to say. It's not a negative thing. Just be on it. Okay, so Pisces, sun, rising, and moon. Hey, Rhonda's here as well. So Pisces, 8th and 7th houses with the full moon in Pisces on the 10th of September, and we're already in it. The 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, we're going to feel these energies. Dreaming is big. What kind of dreaming? Daydreaming and night dreaming. Night dreaming sometimes is a regurgitation of your psyche's patterns. What do I want to do? How do I want to do it? I have a fear. It comes up in a dream. So you might want to keep a journal right now, Pisces, of these kinds of things, or you might want to look at your income status and your tax bracket, as I said earlier. And is there something that you can do to collaborate with someone else to understand better the flow, not just of money, but of abundance? So that would be, being a Pisces, you're probably going to get a reading from somebody. But other than that, you want strategic planning. That's where the Virgo energy comes in. And with the Neptune and Pisces, let me just show this one more time. Okay, so Neptune is in Pisces, the moon in Pisces. It is a time, and it's retrograde. Neptune is retrograde. So you're making some profound inner deep decisions about life, its processes, and where you want to take it. Where do you want to take it? So a lot of times you might feel the need to isolate during this retrograde if you've not already been doing that. Pisces has a tendency to isolate, sun, rising, and moon, or they don't express as much, depending on your other astro makeup. So this is a good time to get in touch with a method that is with other people, seventh house communion. Could be a spouse, could be an ex that you're on friendly terms with, could be a high-end client, could be a vendor, could be someone that you're open to because you trust them or you trust their experience. You might meet someone and they teach, you know, Tai Chi, and you're thinking, oh, wow, that speaks to me right now. So you want to go with the feeling state of what speaks to you and how it feels in your body, because if it resonates a higher frequency, it could be a sound, it could be crystal bowl healing, it could be tuning forks, it could be a seminar on how to understand, you know, your taxes better, you know. So whatever is speaking to you, Pisces, sun, rising, and moon, now is when you want to pay attention to that feeling that vibes higher than, excuse me, that vibes higher than what would be any kind of cynicism, skepticism, negativity, or addictive behavior, because that's what's got to go. So if you're someone who, you know, spend, and then the bill comes in, you're like, oh, whatever, and you pay it, but, you know, it's dwindling and you're not really paying attention to the income, or let's say you don't need to pay attention to the income because you're provided for. And there's no judgment on any of this, but you're provided for. But now suddenly you're thinking, I don't know if I want to invest my time, energy, and money, my spiritual self, with that person or that group or that vendor or that client. I don't know if I want to do that. So that's going to take, again, stepping back and understanding. You know, I met someone once a long time ago who had a child with someone she didn't marry. No big deal to me. But when I had heard from this person, oh yeah, the baby's father is kind of toxic. And there he was fixing her fence. And I said, well, why is he in your life? You know, it's karmic. I was like, what does that mean to you? Obviously, it means you're like in prison and you can't disassociate yourself from people who are toxic because you think it's karmic. Karma is the action on the path. Dharma is the path. Karma is the action on the path. You assign meaning to it. You assign negativity or positivity to it. Does that make sense? Pisces, sun, rising, and moon, and anybody else listening, any sign. So with the full moon, meditate. With Neptune in Pisces retrograde, meditate daily, please. You're going to tune in. You're going to see how expansive you are. You're going to experience all the colors in the rainbow. And then you're going to feel grounded at the other end of it, Pisces, sun, rising, and moon, because you took the time to know what resonates the frequency of your abundance. Okay. So we covered fire, earth, air, water. I hope this was helpful. Please remember to share, like, subscribe, comment, whether you're on YouTube or Facebook, Instagram, because this helps to grow my reach. And that's something I want to do so I can help folks. And we're going to talk more. All right. I won't be here on the 15th, but I'll be back on the 22nd, and we'll be talking about how to manifest, because we're going to be in the welcome to the Mercury retrograde full moon. We're going to be in the Mercury in retrograde energy, but we're going to be shifting from Libra to Virgo. And I want you to get specific on how. Okay? There it is. Thank you for being here, folks. Thank you for being. I appreciate you. And as always, I wish you peace. And I'll see you next time.